Hey again, in this video we will implement a thread in Python, and it will help you a lot when we go with UI and we want to do more than one process. So to get started, I will create a new class here, Python. I will name it my thread. Okay, so to work with the thread you have first to import library my thread underscore thread, which is this one. Second thing, what we want to do in this example, I want to do counter that count 1, 2, 3, 4 and give specific delay of time. So because I need time delay, I need to import time library also. So that's great. Now I have a function. My function name is counter down. Okay, and let we suppose I will start from number 10, then I will go down. So I will say while count greater than or equal 0, then he will continue. So what I want to show, I want to print the value of the counter. So I will say count, then dot format, then I give it the counter value, then he will continue. So I will say count plus or count minus equal 1, and he go next. So I need to add some modification to this code to make it more clear when you have more than one thread. So let me suppose this function take input as a thread name. You could give it anything, just thread name. I want to show the thread name here, then the count value. Then so you could be more professional this way. It's just texting thing. So you will see it in the screen. Now if I run this one in the thread, he will go very fast. You cannot see the timing slow. So if I have the main function, you know it. So now I have defined main, then I say, hey, I have a main, not map, I have main, and this main I need to do implemented here. Then not in this way, I have to implement it in this way, main, and we say, hey, this main method will start a thread. So to start a thread, you say, hey, underscore thread dot start a new thread. Just starting a new thread. First of all, you give it the function name, then the parameters that could be imported to this function. Now I have only one parameter. Make sure this one you give it any name. So whatever name you want to give it. Let me give it name thread1. So you will could track the data in the screen. This data coming from thread1. Because this one input should be tuple, so I will add semicolon here. So he will understand this data is tuple because it's just input for that function. I mean the function for start thread. Because we are starting a thread and we try to avoid any bugs, so it's better to use try. So I'm trying to run this code. If you success, do it. If you not, please catch the error for me or accept the error. What's the error that you find it? So say print whatever, print error and able to start thread. Here we go. Now if I just run it, for sure I will not see anything. The problem is when he get to main, he try to run the thread, he run it, then he done the class, the garbage collection will delete everything and everything gone. I have to make my application continue waiting until the thread done. So I have to write here while one pass. What this code do, he will make a class step continue here. He will not die and while there is one thread working. If the all thread done, he will pass this code and he complete his work. Now if I just try to run it, I will see all the data one time. The problem is I said on time because I didn't add sleep, so it's better to add time.sleep. I want to sleep for 2 seconds. That means, hey, come here, when you reach this point, sleep 2 seconds, then go next, then sleep 2 seconds, then go next, then sleep 2 seconds, then go next. So you'll see it now. He say thread 1, count 10, then he be here, sleep 2 seconds, 9, he sleep 2 seconds, continue. So that means this code will sleep 2 seconds. But one thing I want to surprise you in this point about threading, if I just said here, print thread is running, is that right? So you think when he reach this point, he will not go to this point unless he complete this code, is that right? This is the normal way of the write of the code, but this is not happen. First thing he run this thread is running. The idea is this is how a thread works. You do multi-processing. When you call this line, you automatically open the new complete thread. It doesn't care about what you have here. You just open a new thread, and these start working on different thread completely. Then he moved to the second step, executed normally, and at the same time he execute this process. For that reason, we say, hey, multi-threading. So think about I have another thread. If I just copy it and I try to have another thread, and this should be thread 2. For that thing, I used naming, so you could see them from the output. Now if I run, 2 threads working, see, thread 2, thread 1. Running, thread 2, thread 1. Both of them is working normally. So now I have 2 threads working on parallel without any problem. And same time, any code I have in the main menu, it's working. If you see, just he start working this line. This is the idea that I want to share with you here. It is a really interesting idea. Finally, I want to tell you one thing. There is many processes you could do to the thread. You don't have to use always while. You could use join. So you could be here on this point and say, hey, thread.join. That means you're waiting until the thread complete, then he passed to this step. If you want to. That means if you wait specific result. So your homework is going and study how to use join. Really easy and simple. Just thread name.join. You make your thread sleeping, or you make your code stop in this time in this line until the thread complete, then he go here. And sometimes you need the result from HTTP or whatever, so you do thread.sleep. So you wait thread.join, you are waiting specific data from a thread. When a thread is complete, you go to the next step. Because now if you see, when he run this one, same time he run this one, so there is no like you cannot manage the threading. So yes, here we done, and see you next.